Yeah. Well, you're talking nearly 30 years now, aren't you? Because the game come
Oh,
out, what was
stop
it,
it.
2002? So when was production? Like 99,
You-
2000?
Yeah, you might be counting. I'm deliberately not trying to work it out exactly. Same as my age. When people say, "How old are you?" I'm like, let's not talk about it. Um,
It's
yeah, when you
depressing.
start talking about decades gone past, it's not a nice feeling.
Yeah.
And I look back at some of the pictures from the press staff and some of the videos, and I look so young in them. I look like a kid. Um, but yeah, so it was a very long time ago. I think it was 2002 when it was released. So yeah, and it was a 3-year project. So we were 3 years in the making of it. Um, yeah, just went on and on and on. Um, but yeah, like I said, because it got bigger and bigger and better, and I think the budget went through the roof, literally. And yeah, but it was an incredible thing, and we went all over the place. Um, I'd been the only girl in the game. I went to France and did shoots out there, in Italy and Spain and America. We went. Um, so it was super fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It is funny to see how young everybody looks because I had to do some digging, dig into the archives to get some
Yeah.
old footage and content, and
Yeah.
everybody looks so much younger.
Oh my God,
It's
it's always weird, isn't it? I think because you remember people in that moment. It's like when you meet somebody's kids and the last time
yeah,
you saw them was only a few years ago, but they were about half the size. Um, so yeah, everyone's super different and in completely different places in their lives and their jobs and yeah, but
well, I hate it because I used to have a security company, right, and I used to like work on the doors.
yeah,
So people whose kids I knew when I was like
yeah,
younger. Now I'm letting them in.
yeah. I used to work in clubs as well, and my kids find that so embarrassing now that I ever used to work. They don't want to hear about anything that I used to do in the past. They're like, God, we don't want to know about your podium dancing and your Bollywood film work. And um, yeah, they'd just rather that I had no internet presence whatsoever. Um, but yeah, it was fun times. It was, yeah, good fun
Yeah,
back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you up to now? I know you've got your YouTube. Are you still doing acting? I know
Yeah.
you're a
So
model as well.
I'm doing a bit of modeling, just part time now. I've obviously got the kids. Um, their dad's away a lot, so they're with me full time, which is manic. 3 teenage boys is no mean feat. Um, so I've got them, and I've also just retrained I've done 4 years training to be a counsellor and therapist, which I'm really enjoying. So um, I don't quite know how I managed to get into that. Yeah, I guess my passion for kids and teenagers, and I think having gone through lockdown, which was an extremely difficult time for me as a single parent with the boys, um, and really being up close and personal with how lockdown affected them and their mental health. I think that's where my passion grew from. I struggled a lot in lockdown as well. I was the only adult in the house, and I found it really, really tough. Um, Trying to navigate lockdown on my own with 3 kids was really hard. So I think that's where my passion grew for working with kids and teens and working with their kind of mental health. And I see the massive change in social media and how their life is now compared to how life was for us as children without the pull of social media, without, all of those kind of setups for addiction to screens and stuff. So I think that's really where it came from, a drive for me to help. Um, Support them. And I think the earlier you can get that support, and I do believe in talking therapy. um, I've always been someone able to talk about stuff and share stuff. As you know, it's all there online. Um, and but I know that for some people it's much more difficult to talk about stuff and talk about feelings, and yeah. So I think it's really important that it becomes part of everybody's process to be able to talk about stuff. Um, yeah. So
Yeah, COVID as well, like 6 years ago.
mhm.
It was a weird one, COVID, wasn't it? Because it was
Yeah,
like it was nice because it was sort of a break from real life, but it was so weird to
yeah,
anything anyone ever experienced before. And that was
yeah.
when it come on 7 years ago now.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And yet you still see the effects of it. You see the effects of it on children, um, and that have grown up through that period and were in education during that period. Um, so yeah, I think it's been tricky times. It's definitely tricky times to be a teenager. Yeah, I'm glad I was a
Yeah,
teen when I was, I think.
yeah,
So,
I mean,
mm.
what do you reckon? Do you think we're going towards another lockdown? I keep seeing all this about this new meningitis thing now.
Yeah, I really hope not. I think, you know, the repercussions and the after effect of the last lockdown have been massive. Um, the costs on just like the strain on the medical um I can't get my words out now. Not the medical profession, on hospitals, on you know, psychiatric, psychologists, counselling. I mean, the people that are coming through for counselling now, there's not enough trained counsellors to help people. It's put a serious lot of pressure on everyone, and I think to put us back into that situation again would just be so so utterly damaging. Um, I think there's a lot of um, there's been so many issues with addiction. I've worked in addiction as well, and in recovery, and you know, seeing how lockdown affected them as well. That isolation, no connection, and again, bringing it back to gaming as well. That is a fear, a genuine fear that I have as well. I see how those addictive tendencies play out in gamers.
Really?
Um, yeah, like I said, I've got three teenage boys, and I think addiction isn't just about drugs and alcohol. It touches so many areas of your life, and it's about behaviors and tendencies, and um, in relationships, gaming, shopping. There's so many ways which that addictive kind of thing can play out, and you can see it in your kids as well. You can see this kind of it's the same with social media. It's not something you can just pick up and put down. Um, you can see that it's really like the temper tantrums that you have when you try and get them to do something when they're in the middle of a game, or they're in the middle of scrolling through a feed, or it's yeah, it's it'll be like taking away someone's drug stash right in the middle of using. It really is
Yeah,
like that. It triggers the same
yeah.
things. So
Do you think people are born with tendencies to be addicted to addiction,
I think
or is it?
addiction. I think it's a disease. I think
Yeah,
I think it's like anything. It's part nature, part nurture. I've found it difficult with my boys seeing, which one has more addictive tendencies than the other. You've got one, you can see it from really early on with sugar. If you've got different kids, you've got the kid that can have a family bag of sweets and share them round quite happily. Then you've got the kid that actually can't share them because they've got to eat them all because they're on a complete and utter sugar high. And so I think, yeah, I think it's ingrained from from the start. And I think, again, it's about raising awareness. It's like all things, isn't it? It's the same with gaming time. It's just about talking to kids, talking to teenagers about what's healthy and what's not healthy, and finding a healthy balance in life. It's okay to do certain things, but do them measured. Make sure you counterbalance that with exercise and fitness. Um, Certainly as a mum, you know, I know that it's no good harping on about stuff, but you've actually got to live it. That's the best example you can be to your kids. And I do fitness every day. My kids know it's really important to me. They know that my sleep will be affected if I haven't exercised in the day. Um, and I think be a living example of that for your kids as well. That it's okay to sit by a screen for a while, but then counteract that and go for a run or go to the gym, or I think, yeah, it's
Yeah,
all about balance in life.
yeah. I think it's all dopamine chasing, isn't it? And alcohol is one of the
Yeah,
worst ones.
yeah,
Like, it's in our culture, isn't it? Like celebration, drink, wedding, drink,
yeah,
funeral, drink, bad day, drink.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's all
yeah,
dopamine, I suppose.
yeah. I've been friends with Paul Gascoine for years now, since lockdown, in fact, and um, yeah, it's been tough.
How is he now?
He's good at the moment. He's back working, but it's been a tough ride. It's been a really tough journey, and supporting him through his ups and downs is tough. And you realise how addiction like that affects so many people around you. Family and friends, and people that you're working with. The ripple effect is massive. Um, it's not just you that it affects um, when you're stuck in a grip of addiction. So yeah, it's been quite something, quite a journey. Mm.
Yeah.